This tutorial is simply on padding, margin, borders, and the box model. We sort of introduced it. Padding is on the inside of the element, which in this case we made pink. Margin is on the outside and allows me to space these individual LI items or LI elements. Okay. Now what I want to just talk about in a few little detail is how it works in terms of changing it. By default, if I just put one padding here, as you can notice right here, padding here 20, well, it puts it 20 pixels all the way around. I want to be able to control that. I want different varieties, different sizes. Maybe I only want the top. So let's go ahead and talk about that. We'll just go ahead, padding dash top. Okay, now there's the standard default, top, right, bottom, left. Think of it as clockwise. Control S, refresh, and then now review our website. Now all of a sudden our padding is only on the top. Okay, if we want, we've got a couple of shortcuts. So rather than do padding top, padding left, padding right, bottom left, and spell all that out, we can get away with a shortcut. Okay, so let's just go over the shortcut here. Padding, all we got to do is give us 4 numbers with no spaces, and it goes in the clockwise direction. So we'll do padding of 20, so that'll be at the top, and then just put a space, maybe 5 pixels on the right, 30 pixels on the bottom, and then 50 pixels on the left. Okay. So Control S, refresh, and there you go. And then I get these different sizes. Oops, shoot, I got to put a margin bigger. So let's go ahead and check it out again. Tap padding. Oh, sorry, padding. My typo here. Padding. Don't put them in. It's already enclosed, so I'm just going to go ahead here at the end. Just me being bad there. Control S, let's check it again. Refresh, and then there you go. Okay, so I've got padding 20, 5, 10, and there you go. So all I want to give you the impression is that I can control it. Just a few more little details here. If I only have 3 options, okay, that means the padding here will be 20, 5, and 30. Okay, so if I've got only 3, top margins will be 20, right and left will be 5, bottom would be 30. Okay, Control S, refresh, there you go. Okay, and then finally last one, and then we'll be gone with some of these details, is a 20 and 30. Again, everything that applies for padding also applies for margin. In this case, 20 will be top and bottom, left and right will be 5. Control S, refresh, and there you go. Okay. So what happens here is I just want to get a little bit into the weeds here, because what's going to happen later on is alignments get to be a real pain, and be able to know how to control padding, margin, side by side. You're good to go. Next thing I want to talk about really quickly is the box model. So the box model is the layout of almost any element in HTML. Let me get my I'm going to get my notes here, and I got a little box model. I'll throw this out on the website, but just want to discuss it here. Where are you, box model? There you go, box model. So really quickly, we've got the idea of here's my element box, picture, LI in my case. Here's my padding. And then we got our margin on the outside. The only thing we really haven't talked about here is the border, which we'll do right now. Okay, so borders, we got a couple things. Again, look at the notes since I've got the notes up. I don't expect you to memorize them. Just see some of the items you've got available. Okay, you got border type, border width, and then finally we've got border color. So let's go over it. And then, well, I've got you here since I've got the notes up here. I don't spend a lot of time with border style of inset and outset. This is what I stole this, I believe, from W3C. I'm not sure I remember where I got this from. But this is a demonstration. It's sort of old because it's Internet Explorer 8. We're already at 10. But the idea is you get an inset and an outset with certain browsers. Okay, I'm not going to get into the details here, but a lot of times when I've tried it, I don't get that look. Sometimes you got to play a little bit with the width to get that inset or outset look. Outset look. Now let's go ahead and start. Go back to our code here. Let's just do. So let's go ahead and add a couple things here as well. Let's do a border. So I'll do border style. Is grooved. Groove, not grooved. Okay, and then let's add a border width here. We'll make it 20 pixels. Okay, and then really quickly, I'm going to go ahead and just demonstrate something. Border color is by default the same as your text. So let's go ahead and change that here. Font size is, so I'm going to do UL. I'm going to change the border here, color to blue. Okay, Control S, refresh, back, and then there it goes. So now really quickly, what's going to happen? Okay, I got my grooved color border here. It's a certain pixel length. But what I want to make mention of here is that I do not have to specify a border color if I'm happy that the border color is the same as the text color. Now, if I want to overrule that, then I can do a border color. So let's go ahead and do that. Border color. So I can put that in, border color. Whatever, green. Okay, Control S, refresh, and there you go. I should get green. Okay, so I just want to finish up because I'm running a little late here. I want to talk about how we need to how the box model helps us to account for layouts or the backgrounds. So let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Let me get my code back up here. Let me also double check. Well, we'll do it together here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put in a background color. So I'm going to do for the UI background is oh no, lavender. Lavender. Oops. See what you get for being creative. I didn't realize you don't know how to spell lavender. Shrink it down. Wasn't. Okay. Let's go back. Lavender. Oh, I spelled lavender right. I spelled background wrong. Background. Okay. Okay, I was worried about spelling lavender right. I didn't pay attention to background. Okay, Control S. Refresh. And then, okay, so there's my lavender. Okay. Now, my problem is the background only covers the original LI. So what do we need to do by using the box model? We need to add up so we can adjust this background. So in this case, I want a complete backdrop to this these nav bars. Okay, so or LI elements that hopefully will be nav bars eventually. So let's go ahead and go back to our code here. So let's look what we got. Okay, so remember, let's use the box model and add it up. So I've got here a margin of 10. Padding of 20, and then I've got another 20 on top of it. So basically I've got 50, and then I got a 50 at the end. So I got 50 at the top and 50 at the bottom. So we'll just go ahead and simply do that. So we got line height, the property I talked about, line height is 20, 50, 50, 100 pixels. Okay, so this is where one of the ways in which the box model, Control S, refresh. There you go. So I'm a little bit off. It looks like I got to count for the original text, but my point here is that especially if I want a background that fits right, I'm going to have to account for that space so that I can have to. The background will always remain the same as the original LI elements. I've got to go ahead and change it and get it to go so that it covers it all up. especially if this is like a background that's a pattern or an image. Okay, so anyway, 20, 20, 40, 50. Yep, it looks like, I think by default, I think the text itself I didn't account for. But anyway, bell is rung, so you're probably hearing the announcements as for lunch. So I'm going to end this video here. Margin, border, and padding details in HTML.